Time, back when I was a correction officer back in the 90s. Let's talk about it. So this story time is when I was called a cutie on duty. And it wasn't just me that was called cutie on duty. He had several other officers that were called cutie on duties. And let me explain to you the reason why they called us cuties on duties. In corrections, you either with their clique, you with the program, or you blackballed. Me, on the other hand, I was blackballed. I came in there to do a job. I had a husband and 3 children. So I didn't come in there to make relationships. I didn't come in there to get a work husband. I didn't come in there to have sex with the different officers or be mistreated, because if you don't go with the flow, they're going to treat you like a piece of shit. So when you first start in corrections, and especially if you're a new officer coming in, they're all looking. All of the new officers are being watched. They're being watched in roll call. So when you go to roll call, you got men scoping you out. You got females scoping you out. And they want to see, which one of them are going to be able to break you in. In other words, do the dude with you. So that's the first thing they're going to do. So when you're in a housing unit and you get assigned to a certain housing unit, the officers, most of the time, the officers that's in there, and I would say 95% of the officers, they're going to try you. They're going to be nice to you. They're going to try to ask you different questions about, like your relationship, and just hold conversation. Because see, what they're trying to do is get information on you. And then they also trying to see if they can break you in. So a lot of officers, they fell for it. Me, on the other hand, like I said, I didn't come there to make relations. I was already married, happily married at that. But also, when you're in corrections and you're in those housing units, they have all the time in the world to try to break you the fuck down. And if you're not strong and you're one of the weak ones, you will break. I've seen so many marriages and relationships break. I've seen it. I mean, literally break. I mean, people that came in there with solid marriages broke. And I remember when I was in the training academy, and I used to, because like when you first start in corrections, they'll say, okay, since we had to ride down Lorton, people that had cars or people that didn't or had problems getting to the training academy down Lorton, you kind of like, share rides. So this one officer, her and I, we didn't live that far from each other. So since I drove, I would pick her up. Of course, she would give me gas, and we would go down. And mind you, this officer was married. She had 2 little girls, and she was a nice looking officer. So her and I, we went and we did our training and everything. We went through the academy and everything like that together. But I heard it through the grapevine. Once she got assigned to her facility, and I think she was assigned down Lorton. So once she got assigned down Lorton to the facility, I heard it through the grapevine that her and her husband wound up getting divorced, and she started messing with another officer. And he was married, and he wound up getting divorced, and they hooked up. To me, it's sad, because if you're solid in your relationship, nothing should be able to come between it. Also, one of the other ways they get you to, to get into their little sex pool is they, when they're asking you to go to these different bars and clubs and arrangements after work, or everybody meeting at such and such officer's house. So they want to try to like get you into that. Don't do it. And I remember being called cutie on duty a lot. Me, Tootie, Kim, it was several other officers, because we wasn't with that clique and we didn't fuck with correction officers. We was called cuties on duties. And trust me and believe me, when you went in a housing unit and they called roll call and they say, oh, you working with such and such, and you could hear the little smirks and the little outbursts, saying little slick stuff in the roll call. But you have to have tough skin to be a correction officer. And you brush that shit up under the rug. You go in there and you do your job. But when you go in those housing units, I'm going to tell you, they're going to dog you out. because they know, oh, this bitch is a cutie on duty. She ain't with the program. So yeah, ain't nobody doing that. And then most of the time, those men officers, they senior officers, so they gonna put you on the floor with the inmates and stuff like that. Anything to try to break you down. But for me, I thank God that I was strong enough. I thank God that I was protected with the blood of Jesus, going in and coming out. And my marriage was solid, and I think that's what saved me from being caught up. Stay tuned for the next story time.